really not too late, just click the link down below to get all of the information. Otherwise, if you've already been practicing with me, we're just going to get started in this morning's practice. Please do have a block for this one and keep it somewhere close by. We don't need it for the first pose, but we are going to need it for the second one. So lower all the way down onto your back. So one of the best things that you can do for your lower back if you do experience tightness and pain here is to incorporate more twists in your practice. So we're going to start right away with the laying spinal twist. Just draw your right knee in towards your belly and keep your left leg straight. So low back pain can often be brought on by tight hip flexors, so tightness at the front of the thighs. So just pulling the knee in towards the belly is one way that we can start to open this area up and relieve lower back pain. And then we'll add on to this with a twist. So you can cross your right knee over your body towards the left side of your mat, and right arm can stretch out to the side. Collarbones facing up to the sky. Try to relax your hips, your belly, your lower back. And come all the way back to center. Before we go to the other side, bring both knees in towards your chest. And you might take a few circles here. So using your hands to guide the knees. Maybe reversing in the other direction. This is another really simple little move you can do every single day, just for the health of your lower back. And keep your left knee as it is, straighten your right leg to the floor. So finding a little stretch through the front of your right thigh. Try to relax your arms. So every day of this morning yoga movement, we use a different affirmation. And our affirmation today is, my creative potential is endless. My creative potential is endless. And let's carry this over into a twist. Your left knee moves over towards the right. You can stretch your left arm out to the side. Slow, steady breaths. So what would your day look like if you believed this affirmation to be true for yourself? My creative potential is endless. Come all the way back to center, and just one last time, bring your knees in towards your belly, finding those same little circles, really gentle. You can go in the opposite direction. And now grab a hold of your block. We're going to take bridge pose with a block. So strengthening and engaging the adductors, the muscles along the inner thighs, is also an amazing way to relieve lower back pain. So bring your block up in between the upper inner thighs, roll your shoulders down and away from your ears, keep your feet pretty close in towards you, and squeeze your block as much as you can before lifting your hips up as high as they can go. So you're trying to reach your tailbone towards your knees and keep squeezing your block. So you'll probably notice when you're in bridge pose without a block, usually the knees open up too wide, wider than the hips. So with the block there, you have to squeeze and try to push into your big toes, push into your heels, and drag your heels back towards your shoulders. One more big breath here, and slowly lower down inch by inch. So keep the block where it is. We're going to come into what is called a functional bridge, which is not from yoga, it's from foundation training, but it's amazing. So keep your block as it is, and then almost straighten your legs. So you only want like a few inches between the back of your knees and the floor. Flex your feet so that only your heels are touching the ground. Bend your elbows so the backs of your upper arms are on the mat and your palms are facing towards one another. Squeeze your block and see if you can lift your hips up off the mat. They're only going to come up about an inch or two, and you should feel this turn on and activate very soon. Push into your heels and drag them back towards your shoulders. Squeeze, press, lift up a little bit higher. And lower down, release your block to the side. Take a big stretch here with your arms and your legs. And we're gonna come up, taking a seat. So you can just rock up, crossing at the ankles. Bring your hands to the tops of your knees. We'll just take a seated cat and cow. As you inhale, open up through your chest. And as you exhale, round and contract. Drop your chin down. A few more like this. Really emphasizing this through your lower back and through your lower belly. Take another cycle here. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round it in. Coming back to neutral, let's find our first downward facing dog. So downward dog can be a lot on the low back. For this one, I'll ask that you keep your knees pretty generously bent. So don't worry about having your legs straight or bringing the heels towards the mat. Instead, just focus on the length you can get through your spine as you curl your tailbone up towards the sky and reach your chest towards your thighs. From this down dog, just step your right foot forward in between your hands to the top of the mat and lower your back knee down to the floor. So adding a twist, because again, twists are really great for a low back. Just bring your right hand to your thigh. Push your palm into the knee as you look over your right shoulder, melting the hips forward and down. Try to eliminate any rounding in your spine so you're not contracting. And looking down to the floor. So from here, tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee off the mat, and we're gonna step forward to the top of the mat. Keep your feet wide as the edges of your mat and bend your knees generously. Catch a hold of your two big toes with your peace fingers as you inhale, lift and lengthen up halfway. And as you exhale, bend the elbows away from each other as you fold. You can absolutely keep your knees bent here. Don't worry about straight legs. Instead, see if you can feel a nice little traction on your lower back, so a decompression of the spine. Release the hold of your toes, bring your heels in, toes out, and lower down into Malasana, your yogi squat, also wonderful for low back. Hands at the heart, you can use your elbows to push the knees open as you lift and lengthen up. And let's find downward dog. So no vinyasas in this morning's practice, just because those can be a little bit irritating for the low back. And you might need to bend and straighten the legs. Any little movements here that feel good for you. We'll just go do this on the other side. So left foot forward between the hands. Bring your back knee down to the floor and take a little twist. So left hand to your thigh. Push the hand into your knee to twist a little deeper. Looking down the floor, we're going to come back into that forward fold. So tuck the back toes under and step your right foot to the top of the mat. You can widen your feet. Once more, catch a hold of the big toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the elbows away from one another as you fold. Go ahead and release the toes, heels in, toes out, yogi squat. Opening up through your chest. And we'll find our final downward facing dog. Plant the palms, step the feet back. And just one last little stretch here. Let's bring our knees down to the floor and bring your legs out in front of you. Bring your feet together, knees apart, open up, and fold it down. Let's make this a passive forward fold, so allow your spine to round. definitely getting a stretch in the hips here, but the focus is more on decompressing through your back. Internally repeating, my creative potential is endless. And walk your hands in, start to roll back up. And just bring your hands behind you, take some few windshield wiper motions with your knees. And we'll come to take a seat. Close your eyes, get comfortable here. Join your hands at the front of your heart. Taking a moment to really thank yourself for taking the time out of a probably busy morning so that you can focus on your own self-care, your health, your practice. My creative potential is endless. Take a cleansing breath in through the nose and out the mouth.